It's time to wake up with Milwaukee's favorite morning show.
It's not just we canceled it, it's over, it's a done deal. Shouldn't be that way. That program still should proceed no matter how a few may go against it.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee.
Telly, where are the watch parties? Where the brothers gonna be? I just want to see what she was gonna do.
This is Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Here are your hosts, the effective communication coach Denise Thomas and two-time Emmy Award winner Telly Hughes.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Good morning, good morning. It's the first of the month, y'all. It is Monday, October the 2nd. So technically, it's the second day of October, but for many of us, it is the first of the month. The bank's gonna be off the chain this morning, Sally. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, good morning. I was just thought about that Bone song. Wake up, it's the
Wake
first
up.
of the month.
It is definitely the first of the month. And again, because, and we'll get into more of this a little bit later, the federal government did not shut down. People will still be able to get whatever they receive on the first of the month from the federal government. So shout out to our elected officials for, I'm just going to keep it 100. You know, to me, you actually thought about the American people this time.
Temporarily.
Because those are people, temporarily you thought about the American people. We'll get into that a little bit later because I know a lot of folks are going to have things to say about that. And you can always hit us up on the Truth Talk and Text line, which is 833-212-1017. Again, we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio inside the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. Good morning, Benjamin. How are you, sir?
Amazing. You haven't heard that in a while, have you, DT?
I know. I missed y'all. That's why I had to call in on, what was that, Friday?
That was Friday. Yeah, that was Friday.
Yeah. And then I flew into Atlanta, and then I flew to Milwaukee, got my grand dog. He was upset. Ernie, he's an English bulldog. He does not like being put in a kennel or a boarding, however you want to call it. He wasn't happy when I picked him up on Saturday. He kind of gave me that look like, uh-huh. So we finally got Ernie situated.
How many pounds is Ernie? How much does Ernie weigh?
He's a linebacker.
And you had to carry Ernie, this, right? Like when you take him to the airport.
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't fly with me. No, not yet. He has to. So the airlines have updated the traveling policy, so now it can no longer be an emotional support animal. It has to actually be a service animal. So Ernie has to go through some training, but we're working on that because we definitely do want Ernie to be able to fly with us. When I say us, me or his owner, my son Darren. So we'll see. But yeah, I had a good weekend. Now I'm back in Atlanta, doing some more work. But Brazil was awesome. I had a great time in Brazil. Learned a lot about African Brazilians or Black Brazilians because there's so many different types of Brazilians, and there's so much rich history within our community. In particular, how I didn't realize this. So the Atlantic slave trade, of course, involved Africans being transported or human trafficked from West Africa to what is now known as the United States. But I also didn't realize that there was a significant number of slave people that arrived in South America from Africa, and a lot of them were sold by Africans to pay what they owed to another tribe. So just so y'all know, the African slave trade started in Brazil. It was the longest enslavement of Africans, and the abolishing of slavery only just took place in 1880. So it's still very, very fresh in terms of the abolishment of slavery and free Black people. So, and I'm specifically talking about African slaves. it's just when you go to Brazil, you think about carnival and beautiful people. And I was like, take me to the African part of Brazil. I want to go where the black folks in Brazil are. And that's exactly what we did. We went to some museums. It was just, like I said, it was a very eye-opening, educational experience as we continue to witness elected officials and even non-elected officials in this country try to sanitize the racist history of slavery and making it, oh, well, this was beneficial to black people in America, all this other stuff. No, I'm telling you, we got a lot of work to do in terms of making sure that everybody in this country or everyone in this world really understands the history of not just American slavery, but slavery in South America and other countries. So, and Europe, huge continent of slavery. So it's just a lot, but we cannot be removed from history. And it's very important that we continue as black people to prioritize understanding what slavery was, how it impacted how we show up today, and making sure that even if you're not black, you got to understand that it can't be removed. It can't be sanitized. It can't be clean. It can't be separating fact from fiction. It is what it is. It was what it was.
Yeah, and something that we always say, and it's something I totally have subscribed to and believe in, and that is, if you don't learn history, it's bound to repeat itself. And last week we talked about how, like, I mentioned the fact that Trump is having a campaign and no one knows what he's running on or what he's running, what it's about. To me and to everyone else, it's all about being able to win so he can pardon himself, not to help the American people, not to advance different things. And Bailey looked up something that he and his, and his campaign staff have come up with this. It's like a document where basically he wants to try to change things to a dictatorship. Like other countries are. And if that's the case, then what can follow after that? We can go back to a place where it was before. Meaning, that's why it's so important for them to erase our history, because if it never happened, then it'll seem like this is the first time these things are happening, where in actuality, it's repeating itself.
Absolutely. And Telly, here's the reality too, that there is still slavery in this country. It's just called mass incarceration. It's just a new form of slavery, because what this country and other countries that have enslaved people, especially black people, have portrayed slaves as laborers, as workers. And so you don't even, when you see or when you learn about, and I'm doing the air quotes, slavery in the U.S., it's hard to understand that these individuals were human trafficked. They were raped, brutally raped. And they even had, so once, check this out. This is what was really, I shouldn't say fascinating, but I was just like, wow, how disgusting. Not fascinating, disgusting. Once, and this is what we don't teach, once there was not enough Africans left, they would create, and when I say they, the colonizers in what is now known as the United States would have these breeding camps where they would separate women from their husbands and have them sleep with strange men to make sure that there was enough laborers or slave people. So, I mean, it was like prostitution, it was human trafficking, it was rape, it was division of families, but you don't see these images. So for a lot of people who are not black and impacted by slavery, a lot of them say, well, that's why they're lazy now, because, they worked then, but now they don't want to work because you're seeing us as laborers versus what it really was. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because again, as we are entering the national, or I should say the presidential election of the United States, to Telly's point, not just from a national level, But even look at the people who support Trump and the agenda of removing this topic and removing the teaching of enslaved people. So like Florida, all these other states, see if they're supporting Trump. Because I'm going to tell you right now, to your point, Telly, history does repeat itself if you do not understand the true impact. So this debate, or whether or not we're going to teach slavery in the United States and how we're going to teach it, that should be part of how we vote in these upcoming elections.
For sure. For sure. I just don't understand. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't understand. I think people need to understand things that matter. Those are the things they're trying to take away. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to take it away. From voting rights in Georgia, redistricting, so they could get certain amount of votes in certain districts, all of that. If that didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to get rid of it. Okay, another example. Why aren't they talking about removing the teaching of the falsehood that Christopher Columbus discovered America or the New World? No one wants to talk about that. It's because that happened, and that's a big part of history. But enslaving an entire race isn't important. Like, come on. Like, let's. We always talk about being woke. Wake up.
Exactly. And then having the audacity to teach people in the classrooms that because black people in this country were enslaved, it taught us the skills on how to earn money and buy freedom. Ain't that about nothing, as my dad says.
So what did it teach y'all? The slave owners and the slave masters.
That's a great question.
If it taught us, it taught us how to be more beneficial, what did it teach y'all?
All the descendants of slave masters and colonizers. The Truth and Talk text line is 833-212-1017. How does that make you feel? And I think that's what it boils down to, is that a number of these individuals that are trying to remove or clean up the teachings of slavery, a lot of it has to do with guilt. And you should feel guilty. You should. And it's like, well, that was a long time ago. That was my great grandfather. All I'm saying is this: if you don't feel guilty, that's fine. However, to tell a group of people that are descendants of slavery and still see slavery existing in this country in the form of mass incarceration, 13th Amendment, it still it impacts us.
Oh yeah,
on both ends.
But Denise, that when you start talking about the Constitution and things like that, people only want to revert to the Constitution when it helps benefit their cause, or if it's something that can help them out. You hear a lot about when Trump says, "Oh, the Constitution protects me. I can do whatever I want." But when it comes to doing things illegally, then it's like, the Constitution really doesn't matter. Or like,
exactly.
It's like, the Constitution is outdated when it comes to this. But when it comes to that, and it proves that I'm right, then, we need to live by the Constitution. But
kind of sounds like the Bible. That's how we use the Bible. You know how we'll take certain scriptures. In Corinthians chapter 15, it's like, wait a minute, hold on. I don't think that's what that scripture meant. But yes, we do that with both the Constitution and the Bible. Anywho, we really do, especially our community. But in all seriousness, for me, I've just been very intentional about visiting countries, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in South America, whether it's in North America, that enslaved black people. Because I want to know, like, how did we get here? What were the criteria? What can we do to erase? And then I'm going to be done with it. We can move on. Erase the slave mentality.
Yeah. Well,
that's a lot of us are operating in the mindset of, slavery, seeking permission or validation from whom we were conditioned to believe is superior, not acting a certain way because, we don't want to upset massa. I'm serious. A lot of us are still operating in the mindset of slavery, and it's not about being right or wrong. It's about understanding how did we get here so that we can recondition. That's another reason why a lot of elected officials are trying to remove or sanitize slavery, because it's also going to impact how Black people in the future make decisions, rebuild wealth, reclaim, property on all these things. Mm-hmm. So you also got to understand, are you operating in the mindset of a slave in 2023?
Yeah, there is always a cause and effect. Truth Nation, hit us up on the True Talking text line, 833-212-1017. Brother Shahid says, will they stop teaching about the Holocaust?
No.
Brother Shahid, no.
Absolutely not.
And we're not going to have any say in that. And that's the thing, even when you talk about mindset, Denise, you even got to go into who is pushing this mindset. And if we continue to not know where we come from, how did we get here, how in the world are we going to change that mindset and just stop to go along to get along? Whereas we could be the ones that make decisions. We are the ones that dictate and move things. And it's not waiting on for someone else to tell us what and when we could do it.
Because here's the thing. Slavery mindset has a lot to do with why a lot of Black Americans are dealing with self-hate. I'm just going to put that right there, let y'all think about that, because the Lord knows I think about it every day. We've got a caller. Tim, good morning. You are live with DT&Telly on Truth Be Told. What is your question or comment?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good morning.
Great. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm a school teacher in the Milwaukee system. I teach social studies, and listening to you talk about things that we are possibly teaching children in our public schools, especially in middle schools, I'm finding out that a lot of our students don't know the truth, and it's because they're not being taught it at home. So they come in not really understanding slavery, not really understanding racism. I've had a few conversations with my students. They didn't even know the definition of slavery. Those things are usually taught at home, and they come in already knowing. But if they're not being taught the truth at home, then they'll receive any kind of information from any teaching, whether it's from school or whether it's from friends or whether it's from television, social media. And so they're going to believe what they hear first. And usually moms and dads should be teaching their children about these things. So when they come to school, they're ready and prepared to talk about them and get more information. But we teach slavery in our schools. It's predominantly African-American school, and we teach them the truth about slavery. And so I just wanted to share that comment and see what you guys thought. Thank you.
Tim, thank you so much for calling. Hold on one second, Tim. I wanted to ask you, because this is one of the areas that I'm always intrigued with. What is the reception of the students when you're discussing or teaching about slavery? What is the reaction from students? What are the questions they tend to, typically ask? What's the overall reception? Did we lose Tim? He's gone?
Yeah, Tim's gone.
Yeah. Okay. That I would be because here's my thing. How it's being taught determines whether or not you're leaving with an understanding of, I've got to be better. I've got to be better. I got to dream bigger. I'm standing on the shoulders of my ancestors who literally died so that I could, I want to know what the impact is, because here's the thing, Telly. Mm-hmm. My generation, and I'm going to say our generation, I distinctively recall feeling less than, feeling insignificant, feeling disgusted as a student when I was learning about slavery. And I would look at my white friends or white peers in the classroom during these teachings and could just see in their face this, to Tim's point, because the parents had not had that conversation, this looked like, oh, this is where your people come from? Oh, yeah, we're better than y'all.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It all started in terms of superiority versus feeling less than.
Yeah, and on top of that, and I know we got to get to break, and we could talk about this on the other side of the break, Denise, but we have had conversations, like Tim made a great point that he teaches at a predominantly African-American school, right? But what about the kids that may, you as a parent, you desire them to have a private school education, or you have your child, like Darren was out in the suburbs, like, what about those kids? Like, they will never get it if it's not at home where they're getting it from first.
And those are the schools, to your point, Telly, that the elected officials are making sure don't have any access to slavery education. We're going to take a break. When we come back, want to hear from y'all. Truth Nation, should slavery be taught in both public and private schools? Not like it was in the 80s and the 90s, but the true, full, whole story of human trafficking, also known as slavery, in particular in America. Let us know your thoughts. The Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told, with DT&Telly on the award-winning 1017 FM, The Truth.
More of Truth Be Told with DT&Telly is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth's Melanie Ricks, and I am Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee so much. I love how rich this city is in history, and I love how rich we are in the moment. I think that every day there's something new that our city accomplishes, but it's important that we keep remembering that it takes a village to be great, and I know that we can be great as long as we all stick together. So why not stick together and join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations, where you can speak your truth. We are the new 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org. That's 800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org.
Hi, John McGivern here. Did you know Network Health Medicare Advantage plans start at $0 a month? And you can get the extra benefits you need, like dental, vision, over-the-counter items, and more? I know because I'm a member myself. Call 833-7-NETWORK to learn more today. Network Health Medicare Advantage plans include PPO plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Network Health Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal.
Looking to buy your first house?
Got a sister and a brother, and we all the same. Mama left us to the system, and you know we all to blame. I've been in and out of juvie, man, they know me by my name. Yeah, we from the same place, but we're not the same. When I make it out the hood, man, I might never change. All you could do is listen. You can never feel my pain. You can put it in your raps, but I'm the one that gotta live it. Had to walk everywhere and started boosting Honda Civics. I ain't going to the league. Working on a pivot, man, I'm running in these houses, flipping mattresses and couches. It started about the money, now your boy having fun. 15 years old, tell me why I need a gun. Man, I don't know, but if they play me, then they done. I ain't scared to catch a body, I get it spun. Man, them boys better run. I've been waiting for a reason. Take it out the game, he won't make it through the season. Woo!
Wow.
Hey, I used to dream about the days I would have it all. Dove in that water, cannonball. got minimum wage. I was working, I was trying to be paid. Kinda crazy how the grind shift. Seeing life change up. When you got a call and it be hard for you to hang up. They see how you get down and question how you came up.
Oh my God!
I'm still a product of the block. Still moving product from the clock. Took a risk. It was COVID when I opened up shop. Had my pops. I ain't spend my youth running from the cops. I was working on my aim, handgunning for the top. Hard to not get tangled up when that money come in knots. I put so much time in, I be a fool to cop a watch. Woo! Yeah, I transformed a lot. Now I'm transforming lots. They say you know you getting guap when your comment full of bots. Then we blow on TikTok. We ain't blow off TikTok. I ain't do one dance but getting dough off TikTok. This for all the days I had to hide my smile. Before I throw it in, I let the boy buy my towel.
Oh my.
Yeah. Huh.
Truth Nation.
Hold on.
LaRussa.
They say I'm so laid back. I've been living life on recline. Joyful is the hiker that find beauty in the climb. Grateful is the artist that can navigate his mind. Why would I buy?
Are we back on, Ben?
For my time. The feeling is divine.
Maybe we should just ask.
Back against the wall. I'm using my frontal lobe. When you got
because we don't hear anything.
Everybody got a role. You can watch and you can fold. It seems to me that people got lost looking for gold.
Hey,
forgot about that gold.
That's how you know it's Monday.
I'm no better than them.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on the award-winning 101.7 FM. The Truth. We're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio inside the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. If you were just tuning in, good morning, happy Monday, thank you. We were talking about, again, I just came back from Brazil, Rio to be exact. We were talking about the Atlantic slave trade of Africans to Brazil, and coincidentally, we are in the midst, in this country, in the United States of America, we are in the midst of elected officials,
I'm not against
certain
your boys
elected officials, especially the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, along with others, including officials in Texas, etc., that are removing slavery from our history as if it never happened, it never existed. And one of the reasons that I bring this up is because people will say, and this, Telly, when people say this, when I tell you, it just sets me on fire and I have to just walk away. Well, that was a long time ago. Slavery was abolished, and it's gone. Number one, no, it's not. It's called mass incarceration. Number two, slavery is also a mindset that has impacted Black Americans' ability to thrive in this country the same way that other immigrants, whether it's Polish, Dutch, Irish, Jewish people. Now, speaking of which, on the Truth Talking text line, one of our valued listeners says, the truth is, if the Jewish society wished to join our cause and push for us to get our 40 acres and a mule, better yet, our reparations, we would get it in a heartbeat. Exclamation point. But the truth of the matter is, if they did this, it would admit to them and the rest of the world that 400 years of slavery is more damaging and important than their struggle for freedom. And again, that came on the Truth Talking text line. We want to hear from y'all as well. How do you feel about slavery being taught in our both public and private institutions of learning, aka schools? I'm all for it.
And
it needs to be taught.
It needs to be taught, and again, if it's not important, they wouldn't be trying to take it away.
So get him in hustle up on the phone, calling the present phone, and know that your OG check comes.
If it's something that they don't want you to learn, like
and I'm coming with a bunch of that phone from up here. I come to put me down. Oh God, how I love when it first come around. Now I'm drinking me black and mild. One of 2 times, see the first get celebrated. Rushing to the block 'cause I wanna get faded. Looking on wild 'cause I'm niggas get braided. And then y'all to the sky. To the first, just call me that pro slang. The records from the east to the west coast, making that money all across the world. I ain't gonna say clean.
Dumb, we got to know.
I'll say it this way. Because this one would allow people to describe our community as myself. Because that's the better way us to feel less than.
Hey, today I think it's a wonderful day. And I want fun with my wife, 'cause it's the first of the month. And I'll be smoking, joking, rolling, buzzing, sipping on 40 ounces again. Dumb, we got to know. Stay buzzing all night, we ride. They like to wear night. I give up my partner, they give me some yes. So
while we're on the together,
we got to
I
get
did not receive or
for the green
identify
bean. Give it up for the first show, but it lay low. Cause the
Now,
pop beef when they roll.
I bet they called a few people, panelists off guard.
We're having a celebration. Let us stay high. You better believe when it's time to grind. I'm down for mine. Grind, laugh to grind. Finna creep to the bag, cause mom's got a grub on the grill. If we got the roll, I was the first of the run that my jewels, we thugs for real.
And then you also have to create a level of higher, more powerful, whether it's money, whether it's education, whether it's health. You with me? These things still exist in this country in 2023. So I appreciate what you said when someone refers to my as my because you know that when I seen that my sister was already dead, she said I'm a rally, go get in my stance. Watch I make sure no one snatches my check. And that's the y'all always do that when you in DT's presence, because I'll stop you right there. I'll be like, excuse me, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
I don't even want you to put Miss Minority on it. Just don't use it.
The Truth Talking text line is blowing up. Hit us up, Truth Nation, 833-212-1017. What are your thoughts on should schools teach slavery, teach the history of Black people, African Americans, and how we got to this country, as well as what has happened since being in this country? So, again, I can't say it enough. I'll continue to say it. If it wasn't important, we'd be trying to take it away. That's just what it is.
Do we have a caller? Because I think did they?
I think they hung up.
My bad.
Yeah, they hung up.
Okay,
yeah.
Angela, if you're still listening, and you want to call back. Please call back. We want to hear your voice regarding the human trafficking, sex trafficking of African people as part of the enslavement of Black folks in America. And also, I just want to add this because I guarantee you these two words will never be associated with slavery in terms of the education. The psychological warfare of Black people as a result of slavery is daily. The psychological warfare every day based on something that many people will justify as, oh, that happened so long ago. But you're not understanding, you're not seeking to understand that slavery still exists in this country. It's in different forms. It's in different forms, beginning with the mass incarceration.
We are, unfortunately, Denise, I feel like we are hundreds of years before people will start to look into the psychological warfare that period had on an entire race. Just think about it. We're just really starting to talk about mental health. And and guess what? It wasn't sparked by Black people. Mental health didn't come into play until it is crossed over where it's affecting the people that make laws and things like that. Like opioids wasn't a crisis, wasn't an epidemic until it started to reach lawmakers,
impact certain
kids,
absolutely,
and family members. And so when you start to talk about not just, you don't even want to teach it. You don't even want to teach slavery, let alone the mindset or the psychological warfare it had
by supporting
on
your writing journey from start to
finish. Be separated from their families, to
welcome to Ideation
be
Station.
sold off.
How do I write the perfect intro paragraph?
All of that. So I don't think I think we're so far from that because people don't even want to acknowledge the things that you have to go through on a daily being Black in this country.
Well, and to Tim's point, you need to take a responsibility as parents. And the Black Conscious, we're coming to you right now. We have to, as parents, as guardians, as people who are raising maybe other people's kids, we cannot rely upon the public school system or the private school system. Teach it in your house. There's no excuse. We have plenty of access to information that's factual and truthful about slavery. Good morning, Black Conscious. You are live on Truth Be Told with DT&Telly. What is your question or comment?
Good morning, my sister. Good morning, Telly. How are you both? So I always start off with knowledge of self and good health, but the knowledge of self part is, you're exactly right, my sister. we need to make sure if you have that capacity, first of all, to teach your child truly about the atrocities of the things that we're speaking on, that human trafficking. But my thing is, why that? Because you're still teaching us about the Holocaust. Heck, you're still teaching us about the Alamo. We can go through all wars, and we can talk about that and the greatness of it, the colonization of this land and all of the things, but you want to leave that out? So, yeah, let's take it upon ourselves to teach our children, because that's really, truly where it starts at home.
Absolutely. And Brother Shaheed, go ahead, Black Conscious.
Go ahead.
You got it. No, you got the mic.
I said we start with that at home, but then we send them off to school, and then we depend on them to teach them, but we don't even follow up to see what they're teaching them. And then when things like this come across, we up in arms because we're not invested in the curriculum that they're teaching our children. Live righteous, Milwaukee.
Thank you, Black Conscious. Always appreciate you listening and sharing your perspective and thoughts. We're going to take another break. When we come back, speaking of our government, the good news is that we have temporarily avoided a government shutdown after the Senate and House passed a temporary 45-day government funding plan. We're going to talk about that, how that impacts us. And again, look, we got to start making sure our votes, because we can't have government shutdowns, y'all. You're listening to Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth.
It is Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra pays tribute to American music icon George Gershwin when its pop season opens on October 6th at the Bradley Symphony Center. The orchestra welcomes the return of its long-standing jazz partner, the Marcus Roberts Trio, for these concerts. They'll be joined by award-winning vocalist Tashiana Lady Mae Mayfield for such audience favorites as Wonderful, Fascinating Rhythm, and more. Plus, you'll also hear highlights from Porgy and Bess, and the trio will join the MSO on stage for what promises to be an unforgettable rendition of the Rhapsody in Blue. It's a Gershwin celebration with the Marcus Roberts Trio, October 6th through the 8th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Visit mso.org for tickets or call the box office now at 414-291-7605.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance, because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Join Milwaukee Academy of Science at its 8th annual Night with the Novas Gala on Friday, October 20th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Discovery World. Enjoy the silent and live auctions, amazing food, and prizes. This is another event of the fall season. Are you interested in attending this remarkable event? Well, visit their website at MilwaukeeAcademyOfScience.org or contact Uniqua Adams at uadams@mascience.org for tickets. Milwaukee Academy of Science is a Milwaukee charter school that strives for equity, learning, and excellence in STEM education.
Dear hero, whoever you are, you save lives. I live with sickle cell and the pain and the issues that come along with sickle cell every day. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime, probably in the hundreds. Blood helps me to be able to live.
My final tour was in Afghanistan in 2008. I was hit June 3rd. The next thing I remember, I woke up in Germany. The doctor came in and said, "We're going to amputate your leg." I had to get a lot of blood transfusion to stay alive.
Because of you, I'm allowed to see my son grow up.
Because of you, I got a second chance at life.
Giving equals living. Give blood. Replenish the supply. Make an appointment to give today by visiting hhs.gov/giveblood. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Big problems in the Mitchell interchange. The ramp from northbound 94 to westbound 894, that tunnel ramp is closed right now for an incident. Delays are already stretching all the way back to Rawson Avenue and beyond, so it's going to be a slow ride through that area. Might want to look at some of those alternate routes like 27th Street or possibly even Howell Avenue might be a good way to go to get past this. But if you're in the backups, make sure you decide what lane you need to be in so that you don't get caught in that backup. You can get through, it's just going to be very slow. Otherwise, eastbound 94 backing up out of the Zoo interchange to about 68th Street, southbound 43 slow from Bender Road down past Capitol, northbound slow from Fond du Lac up to Keith. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, sunny and very warm, a high of 85 tonight, mainly clear and a little muggy with a low of 63. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 1017 The Truth.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You heard the man. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. The banks are going to be on the road today. The drive-through, the lobby, the branch lobby.
Pay that rent, though.
Man. And again, we go through this every month, so, but I got to say, what messed me up sometimes is that this month, the first day of the month fell on Sunday. See, that kind of messes me up because then I got to make decisions differently. You know, I don't have that grace period. So Saturday, when I was up in the morning with my granddaughter Ernie, I detest maintenance.
That's how I was Saturday. I was like, golly, I don't want to start it like that. It's the first of the month. You're like, man, another month, another month of opportunities, and then it's like, man, there goes a good chunk of that.
Man, I wish sometimes that money were no object, because I think this world would be a whole lot better and a whole lot more peaceful. Speaking of which, our government, if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT and Telly on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth. Our government, speaking of the first of the month, has avoided a shutdown after the Senate and House passed a 45-day government, this is a temporary 45-day government funding plan. And what this basically means, now first let me just read a statement from President Joe Biden. Quote, tonight, bipartisan majorities in the House and Senate voted to keep the government open, preventing an unnecessary crisis that would have inflicted needless pain on millions of hardworking Americans. This bill ensures that active duty troops will continue to get paid. Travelers will be spared airport delays. Now that's a lie. That's a lie. I feel like that guy when President Obama, liar! That's a lie. Sorry, back to the quote. Millions of women and children will continue to have access to vital nutrition assistance and so much more. This is good news for America, for American people. Now, Truth Nation, the Truth Talk and text line is 833-212-1017. Do you feel that this is truly good news for the American people? Again, the government has avoided a shutdown after the Senate and House bipartisanly, that's not a real word, but I'll just use it, bipartisanly passed a temporary 45-day government funding plan. And what's interesting is that this temporary bill, are you ready for this? Also increased federal natural disaster funding by $16 billion, but did not include any new funding to Ukraine.
That's the part I was okay with. Look, I'm tired of giving them all this money, and I don't know if you all follow Plies on social media, but he has some of the funniest takes. But he keeps it real. He said, "Look, the day that you decide you want to be in these streets, one of the first rules that you learn is don't go to war if your money ain't right." And that's exactly what is going on with President Zelensky. Like, he's at war, and every time you turn around, he's on TV or he reaching out to Joe Biden, like, look, man, we need some more money, man. And then in some interviews, he's had a nerve to say, well, if we had more money, we would be further along in this war. Like, who said we supposed to support this war? And while we have homelessness, we have so many things going on in America, but we're sending billions to Ukraine.
Could you imagine?
But I'm off that.
Could you imagine? No. Let's stay on it because you bring up valid points. Can you imagine Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, having that conversation with the Congressional Black Caucus? Like, hold on, let me get this straight. You in front of us asking for another $15 billion with a B, and our people are still just trying to get our 40 acres and a mule? Are you for real right
Doesn't
now?
make a lot of sense.
He knows who to talk to.
Yeah.
He knows who to
of
talk
course.
to. Yeah, talk to hardworking Delaware, blue-collar Joe Biden, career politician, who's never I'm not going to say never, but from my understanding, has never experienced the true deprivations of being black in this country, because he's not, although he said if you don't vote for him and you're black, then you're not really black. But yeah, President Zelensky, he know who to talk to, because you go to the Congressional Black Caucus and tell a bunch of black folks that you need some more money, and we got, But I'm just glad that this did not include any new funding, because to your point, I mean, again, look at New York. Did you see New York over the weekend? Keep telling y'all, climate change ain't no punk. They said by the year, it was completely flooded. The entire New York City, whether it was Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, whatever. The entire was flooded. And what I found interesting, man, people on the internet never, ever fails. People were like, finally, get rid of them rats. And one of my friends was saying, man, them rats was swimming. Okay, they're here to stay. They was in there doing the backstroke.
They had snorkeling gear.
They had snorkeling gear.
Little rat snorkeling gear.
Look, they had their water Olympics. They had the synchronized rat competition. You cannot kill New York rats. Yeah. People talk about, this is going to get, I don't know what kind of rats you think exist in New York, but them some OG rats.
Yeah.
They're like, we're here to stay.
Yeah, they made Midwest rats. Them doggone.
What you say, Telly? They had the little rat snorkeling kit. It was like, da, 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 da. They were doing the synchronized. They're like, welcome to the Winter Olympics of Rat Nation. We're here in New York City on the. Them rats ain't going nowhere. They was straight like we needed a bath.
Right, they good.
Anywho. But yeah, so they were talking about by the year of 2100, based on climate changing, if we don't get our act together, the entire New York will be flooded. Like that movie, I forget the name of the movie, where it just flooded the whole New York City. So when we come back from break, we're going to get more into this, your thoughts. What do you think about what's going on in the country, especially as it relates to climate changing? Milwaukee, we're susceptible too. More to come. Are we good? Are we good, y'all? Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth.
More of Truth Be Told with DT&Telly is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud new home of Marquette University High School football. Be sure to tune in to Marquette Hilltoppers football every Friday night at 7 p.m. as we bring you some of the best gridiron action in the area. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Liberty Engineering, and Marquette University High School.
Looking to buy your first house, expand into a forever home, or simply want to refinance? At Associated Bank, we've got you. We believe that with the right lending plan and guidance, everyone can achieve their dreams. And Associated Bank is here to get you there. Because believe it or not, your financial goals are within reach. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the new 1017 The Truth. Here is Dr. Ken Harris with his truth.
I'm tired. I'm tired of watching this city fall apart and have leaders who will not say why. What is the issue with saying what the issue is? I have 5 things that need to be addressed in the black community to mitigate, forget it, to stop crime, period. Hands down, full stop. Number 1, when your kid does something wrong, they need to be held accountable. If it's a smack on the wrist for something they did that was little, that's fine. Otherwise, they need to be held accountable. Number 2, parents, you need to take care of and raise your kids. It is not the job of the police, the fire department, the school, or anybody else to raise the kid that you decided to have. It's on you. For those kids that have now come into adulthood, go to college for at least an associate's degree in a trade. That way you can either start your own business or get a good job. Number 2, when you graduate from high school with at least a 2.5 grade point average or higher. And then finally, probably the number 1 thing that everybody needs to think about, and whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant. It's my truth take. If you disagree, God bless you. But the bottom line is, wait to get married before you have children. Why? Because the responsibility of raising them is on you.
This has been Truth Takes on the new 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It is Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Position in the kitchen with soda. I just whipped up a watch, trying to get me a rover, trying to stretch out the like a wrestler. Yes, sir. Keep the heckler close. You know the smokers are testing.
Welcome back to Truth Be Told with DT&Telly, live from the American Family Insurance Studio inside the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. If you're just tuning in, thanks for getting your Monday and your week started with us. We have been discussing the temporary avoiding government shutdown. Is that the way you say it?
Yeah,
the shutdown has been avoided temporarily. How about that?
Temporarily, 45 days. We got a month and 2 weeks.
Yes, and I think the operative word here is temporary, and it's so jacked up because even with the temporary plan in place, they're still calling for Kevin McCarthy's head, like his own people don't want him. And when you got to cross over to get Democrats to vote more than your own constituents, yeah. So, but thankfully it was avoided. There's a lot of people, we've been joking around about this being the first of the month, Denise, but like for real, their money would have been cut off. And so, that's it is a good thing. And hopefully within these 45 days, they are able to come up with something more long term, because they weren't able to do it before the deadline. So hopefully they'll be able to do it now.
Speaking of stimulating the economy, I don't know if y'all talked about this on Friday, but did you hear the reports? And this was multiple sources. So they're not going to talk about this. So as you may or may not know, living legend, my opinion, Beyonce just wrapped up her Renaissance tour. It kicked off in early May, and it just ended last week. Did y'all realize that the Renaissance tour generated $4.5 billion in economic stimulation in this country? $4.5 billion.
$4.5 billion.
That means that when every city that she touched was stimulated from an economic standpoint, and it's well on its way to earning $560 million in revenue. And again, the trajectory to wrap up with this concert, and now it's officially wrapped up, estimated $4.5 billion, giving the U.S. economy a boost.
Well,
so while
I know
the
we're about to
government is talking about shutting down, yeah.
I know we're about to get to break, but I just want to say this before we go to break. Today's $4.5 billion. I'll say 1.3 of those were cowboy boots and and hats.
Look, all the cowboy boot vendors are eating good for the rest of the decade.
Oh,
thank you,
my
Beyonce.
goodness.
We got to take a break. We come back. We're going to talk more. We're going to talk more about how Beyonce gave the U.S. economy an estimated $4.5 billion boost. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth.
Truth Nation, Gruber Law Offices and The Truth have raised the stakes for this year. The One Call, That's All Gruber Cash Giveaway is now a $5K giveaway. Yes, you heard it right. $5,000 giveaway. Every weekday on 101.7 The Truth, you will have the chance to be entered to win the $5K giveaway. Listen to The Truth for the One Call, That's All cue to call for your chance to win $5,000. Gruber Law Offices, One Call, That's All. Visit 1017thetruth.com for official contest rules.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Sherwin Hughes, and I am Milwaukee. This show has meant so much to me because it's an opportunity for me to express my thoughts and my feelings to my community, and for my community to express those same thoughts and feelings right back to me. Milwaukee means a lot to me. I was born here, raised here, educated here, and I'm committed to making this a better city. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the new 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee, Black Talk.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Getting support from friends online kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
Instead of smoking after I ate, I'd get up and take a walk.
I missed having a cigarette in my hand, so I'd hold a pen or a straw, anything.
Until I knew I wouldn't give in to temptation, I spent more time with my friends who didn't smoke.
I went to places that were smoke-free.
I didn't stay quit the very first time I tried.
I kept on trying, and I learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
I quit.
I quit.
I quit.
We did it, so can you.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
Truth Nation, it is Denise Thomas
and Telly Hughes
from Truth Be Told with DT&Telly. And guess what?
What is that, DT?
Our Truth fans can now watch and stream us live every day, Telly.
Wait a minute. I know how you feel. Let me make sure I got this thing right. Our amazing and incredible Truth fans can go to 1017thetruth.com, click the watch live link, and watch me and you do our thing live from YouTube and Twitter every morning.
Yes, Telly, that is exactly right. So now they can watch you almost lose your black card every Friday during our Truth Telling It segment.
Come on now. You know I'm never losing my black card. But Truth Nation, you gotta tune into all your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows, as you can not only listen live on the app, but you can also stream us live all day, every day by going to 1017thetruth.com and clicking the Watch Live link.
supposed to.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
A team that's militant, a down
More of
woman by your side that get it
DT&Telly
in.
is
The
next
realest.
on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This feeling. If you don't have a team that's militant, you better be brilliant. I love this feeling. If you don't have no team that's militant, be mentally equipped. I love this feeling. Watch everybody. That's why I love
You
my
are
team.
listening
I love this feeling.
to Truth Be Told with
Keep
DT
calm
and
and watch
Telly.
everything. It's your monthly subscription
Good morning,
to the
good morning.
Slums
Hope you are
Edition.
having a
The
great
new it was
start
written.
to the
Get
new
your hard
month of
copies of
October.
Blackology coming
I'm
from the
just glad
one who
it's
lived in
October
a bowl
because
for
September
goldfish. I
can
never
kick
sell my
rocks.
soul. Just see.
It really can. That was not a good month
Outside
for
of my
DT.
birthday, you did say that, right?
Outside of your birthday and my father's birthday. My father turned 77 in September. Well, but outside of that, yeah, I'm glad it's October. And the Truth Talking text line, which is 833-212-1017. We've been talking about a lot of things, including the temporary 45-day avoidance of a government shutdown. Speaking of economy, not sure if y'all heard about this, but Beyonce, as she just wrapped up her Renaissance World Tour, which is on its way to earning $560 million in revenue. So that basically means that, look, this is all the money that we made off of this tour. And Telly, he had me cracking up, y'all, before the break. So basically, this concert, this tour, it's estimated to generate a $4.5 billion boost to the American economy. I shouldn't say estimated. It basically is estimated that it did generate a multi-billion-dollar impact on the U.S. economy. Telly said, shout out to all the vendors who make cowboy boots and hats because they are eating good.
That seemed
They
like that
winning.
was the uniform if you were going to the Beyonce concert. There were so many pictures that, cowboy boots, shorts, hats.
But isn't that amazing? I mean, think about that. And just so you know, this came from the New York Times. I want to make sure that y'all know this is a credible source. The New York Times reported that the Renaissance World Tour of Beyonce is well on its way to earning $560 million in revenue and has the trajectory to wrap up with an estimated $4.5 billion with a B boost to the American economy. And if you just want to kind of put that in a further context, this is basically what the 2008 Olympics did for Beijing, China. I'll let that marinate.
That is, yes, that is incredible. And even if you think about some of the things that Beyonce was able to do during that tour, remember when she was in New York and they had the subway crisis and she paid for everybody to catch the the train to her concert. I mean, she has done a lot of different humanitarian things. Clearly, she could afford it. But when you look at the impact that and all it took was for her to decide this is what she wanted to do. Just think about it. She could have been like, I don't really feel like going on a world tour right now, or she could have waited years. But to decide that's what she wanted to do and then go through with it and then have that much impact on the economy, and this is a worldwide tour, like, come on, man. That is
she did.
I mean, that's hard to even.
Shows.
Yes, go ahead. 60 shows.
She completed 60 shows, 4 months. That's it. She did 60 shows in just 4 months, including Europe and the U.S. She closed out with her final show in Kansas City, Missouri last weekend. And so I'm basically saying that this tour, the Renaissance World Tour, it's going to go down in history for a variety of reasons, but mainly, again, even when you think about it from a culture standpoint, that's what I love about music, because it unifies people that usually don't engage with one another. And I experienced that firsthand when I went to see her in Cardiff, England. And you just saw all these different types of people coming from all over to witness Beyonce in this groundbreaking, history-breaking tour. I was just like, and like you said, she had people up all night sewing outfits, designing, and I mean, it just was a cultural impact as well. There will never be a tour like this. It was one of the greatest concerts,
traveling to different
if not
countries.
I know.
Like yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the time you would be like, maybe I'll catch him in Vegas, or maybe I'll catch him in Atlanta or something. You went to another country.
And I'm so glad I did, because again, the concert was life-changing.
Yeah. So
and I wish every black and brown girl would have been able just to go, because seriously, to see a black woman such as Beyonce do what she did and just how you left feeling.
And no one else was on
Incredible.
the tour with her, right? Like, she didn't have any opening acts, or, I mean, now that is also rare too. I mean, most of the time you don't come by yourself. Like Beyonce showing up by herself. This is the show. Now, we ain't going to have, I ain't going to throw anybody else out there to make them seem smaller, but we're not going to have other artists come up and warm the crowd up. Like, they already come and gassed up for you.
I was going to say, I'm going to respectfully decline opening up for Beyonce anytime in my trajectory, okay? I'm going to respectfully decline. On the Truth Talking text line, Brian says, which is 833-212-1017, Brian says, well, it still wasn't Thriller, LOL. Hey, let me just say this to you. The Dangerous Tour, I was actually watching that with some friends of mine on YouTube last night. And, that's the famous tour where he would pop up from the stage and stand there for like 60 whole seconds and not do anything but take off his glasses really smooth, and you just started seeing bodies drop. Yeah, you just started bodies just flying everywhere. Look, Brian, you get no pushback from me, brother. You look, and I don't necessarily like to use the term greatest of all time for spiritual reasons, but Brian, let me be clear. I'm a Beyonce fan. I'm not a member of the Beehive. I'm a Beyonce fan. I'm just giving her credit. However, with that being said, we all know that every great artist, including Taylor Swift, including Beyonce, including Usher, which we're going to talk about him in a second too, literally stand on the shoulders of Michael Jackson. He is yet to be beat in any capacity of entertaining people. So, Brian, I'm with you. The caller says $560 million in revenue. If that's not iconic, what is? With all due respect, Miss Dion was dead wrong when she said Queen Bee isn't an icon. Jay-Z knows how to pick them. Miss Dion Warwick said that Beyonce wasn't an icon? Was it Dion Warwick? Who was that? What? Usually people don't come for Beyonce. I'm weak. So, speaking of entertainers, let me just tell y'all, Usher, this is his season, because ever since he started the residency in Las Vegas, probably about going on 3 years now.
It's been that long?
Yeah, because I went to go see it when it was at Caesars, and that was right during COVID. Yeah, so I know we went to go see him in 2021, I believe. So I want to say he's been in this, because now he's at, I forget the stadium, it's the venue in Vegas, but he was originally has his residency in Caesars. But anywho, what I love about Usher is that he's already a legend, and it just shows you, like, don't ever feel like your dreams have an expiration date. Yeah. Because Usher, he's been a legend, and now he's finally just at the peak of his residency. Now he's going to be the halftime performer during the upcoming Super Bowl in Las Vegas. See, so that's the thing. He's already in Vegas. He's about to perform in Vegas. And then, y'all, guess what? He just announced he's going to have a world tour as soon as he finishes in February in Las Vegas during the Super Bowl. So I'm all here for Usher. I'm here for Beyonce. I'm here for everybody who's black that's winning. I'm here for it. I'm loving it.
And Denise, that man, you just brought up something that really made me think about how you could sometime feel like because your dream isn't happening when you want it to, that it's dead. And it's like, oh, well, maybe that's not what is, meant for me. Maybe I should try something else. And you're talking about a person who was a child star. It wasn't like he didn't become famous until he was in his 20s or 30s. And even being a child star and having the career that he's had, he's over 40. I think Usher's in his mid-40s now, if not early 40s. I know he's not too far away from us.
Let's see how old Usher Raymond is.
But my point is, he's now having his season. And regardless of what you feel, and it's like, man, it's never going to happen. I've been trying, and I've been doing this for 20 years, and Usher's been performing for 30 years. And he's just getting. He will be, his birthday actually is October 14th. He'll be 45. So he's got a milestone birthday coming up in a couple of weeks. He'll be 45 years old on the 14th. So my point is, if you are chasing something, if you had a dream for something, you're not too old. It could still happen if you just continue to believe in it, because at 45, at 44 and a half or 3/4 for Usher, a lot of things that are coming into play that he probably wish would have happened 20 years ago. I mean, he's probably thinking, look, I was Usher 20 years ago. Why did nobody want me to perform in the Super Bowl? Why did and so
that wasn't part of God's plan.
Exactly.
It was the timing.
My point is, if you're 40 or if you're still trying to push for something, it doesn't mean that it's over just because it's been delayed. Delayed doesn't mean denied when it comes to your blessing, your season, and what is for you is for you. A lot of people didn't become famous or didn't start making money until after 40 years old. If you truly think about it. Yes,
so
if you truly think about it.
Thank you, Telly, for giving me hope that, yes, Denise, you may be in a wheelchair when you roll down the aisle to get married, but don't give up, Denise. You, too, can be Queen Camilla. Queen Camilla, Queen Camilla said, hang in there. You, too, can be queen as a side chick.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with it, like hosting the Grammys or something.
Oh, that's a done deal. Me and God, we've already had that conversation. And he told me, just be patient. Because here's the thing, when you do the work, and that's one thing that I'm learning, is when you do the work, you don't have to worry about finding. It'll automatically come to you, because that's the energy that you're putting out in the universe.
Yes.
Don't ever search. Just just do the work every day. Because Usher, think about how, like, that is crazy. You think that when he accepted the residency in Las Vegas, that he suspected or knew that he would be invited to perform during the Super Bowl halftime, that happens to be also where? Do you know from a logistics standpoint how much money he's saving? Do you realize, because from a logistics standpoint,
because they don't get paid nothing.
Yeah. And they pay for all of that. Yeah. So he's winning. Like, he's getting like a friends and family discount based on the fact that he's already got most of his stuff already there. To get to, what is that, SoFi Stadium? Is that the name of the stadium?
Allegiant.
Allegiant, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
SoFi
so
is L.A., yeah.
The caller says Beyonce is another example of black excellence, like Mike, I'm assuming Michael Jackson, Prince, Janet, and James. I'm assuming that's James Brown. Brian says on the Truth Talking text line, which is 833-212-1017, Usher, really? He all right. But they could have brought somebody with more danceable hits like the whole Master P clan. Hey, it's a hype football game. I don't really want to hear no wimpy, limp-wristed, watered-down, pseudo-brother hits. Damn, I wish DMX was still here. Well, I can tell you this, Brian. With all due respect, DMX was never going to get invited to perform unless the person they invited DMX. But I can tell you right now, Brian, that would never, ever.
And they still would have had a problem with it.
Right. Brian, I feel you, and thank you for sharing your thoughts. But I'm going to tell you right now, Master P, the whole No Limit Soldier Clan, I highly doubt they'll be invited to perform as part of the Super Bowl halftime.
Brian, this is the same Super Bowl that had Maroon 5 as one of their performers one year. So you don't go from Maroon 5 to DMX at any point.
Brian, just picture yourself in the conference room. Okay, you guys, let's talk about who we're going to invite for 2024 Super Bowl. Who do we have?
Ooh, Katy Perry. Katy Perry. Like, no.
Look, Telly, look. What about Master P and the No Limit Soldier group? Yeah. Oh, no. Nope. I got one better, y'all. What are your thoughts, Brian? let's bring DMX. Was never going to happen. Never going to happen. Sorry, Brian. The caller, 2 Chainz. Oh, yes, this is a fact. The caller says 2 Chainz and Samuel Jackson were in their 40s when they blew up. That's facts.
Yes, yes. If you go back and look at, if you go back and look at most of your favorite actors and entertainers and even broadcasters, a lot of them didn't get on until after they were 40. You didn't know about Stephen A. Smith when he was in his 20s.
You didn't.
Or his 30s. So, prime example. Yes, yes. So, again, you know, it's never too late to have your season, and for Usher to be in the midst of his prime season, I mean, great for him. Great for him.
I'm so excited. I am. I'm so excited. I'm definitely going to watch the Super Bowl halftime performance this year because at least we know. Because that's the thing with Usher, he is a great entertainer. That's for sure. And I know he's probably curating some type of extraordinary experiences because, again, he's got the insight on what he can do to even further make the performance in Las Vegas so hype. Brian says, just bring Jay-Z then. Jay-Z was invited. Jay-Z respectfully declined. Come on, Brian. Come on.
Well,
do better.
Actually, Jay-Z is a part of bringing Usher on with his work with the NFL, being a part of
that's true.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, Jay-Z doesn't have a reason
Brian,
to show
up. You need to hit Jay-Z up, be like, nah. Can we get No Limit?
But see, Denise, we did go back. We did go back, and when this was announced, looking at all the different halftime acts going back. Yes. And if you recall, like over the last 3 years, this is when the shift really has started. I mean, because you had Jennifer Lopez and Shakira, you had Maroon 5, you've had the closest or the blackest artists over the last, I said, 6-7 years before the LA Super Bowl when they brought out Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick Lamar, and then I think the year before that or the year after that was Rihanna. But Bruno Mars was the blackest entertainer over the last 7-8 years before Jay-Z got on. And now you see the trend going in a different direction. When the Super Bowl was at SoFi in L.A., you had everybody, all the L.A. rappers, and then you had Rihanna the next year. Now you have Usher. So it's definitely going in a different direction.
Because, I mean,
I don't think we'll get to Master P anytime soon, but we're definitely going in a different direction.
Anybody come to see you, Otis. All respect and love for Master P, but come on now. Let's be realistic because, again, it's about viewership. You got sponsors.
Exactly.
You got it's the Apple Music halftime show. And so they're going to be like, yeah, we love Master P, but in terms of the viewership, it's the most viewed live broadcast in the history. Over 150 million people watch the Super Bowl from all over the world.
Yeah. Every year it breaks a record. Yeah.
Speaking of living legends, when we come back from break, the most recent update regarding the murder of Tupac, and this brother that name kept coming up. Speaking of Vegas, we're going to talk more about the person that was arrested. Finally, somebody has been arrested. And also, we're going to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith's response. Lord have mercy.
Oh, man. I didn't even know that part.
Be told. Yes.
Did she come on crying in front of Will?
I'm going to tell you in Truth Nation when we come back from break because you know she had a response. You're listening to the best morning show on planet Earth. DT&Telly, Truth Be Told on 101.7 FM, The Truth.
More of Truth Be Told with DT&Telly is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris, and the time is now, Milwaukee. You know, perspective is essential. What I found is the news behind the news is more important. I want you to leave my show with a sense of knowing what was missing that adds depth to the conversation. Tune in Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. on the new 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, or 1017thetruth.com.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org. That's 800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org.
Bucks basketball is back. A new era tips off with Coach Griffin at the helm and your favorite core back on the court. Don't miss a moment of the action, from the slam dunks to the electrifying victories and the roar of 18,000 fans, all unfolding live at Fiserv Forum. Secure your seats now to be a part of every incredible moment. Visit bucks.com/tickets and join us for an unforgettable season of Bucks basketball. There's a seat waiting for you at Fiserv Forum. Secure yours now at bucks.com/tickets.
Who makes insurance simple? That's easy. Delta Dental of Wisconsin. So if you ask, what company encourages you to use your benefits for regular preventive care? Or who provides quick service online or by phone? Which insurance offers access to the largest provider networks? Or who helps you save money when you need more than a checkup? The answer's the same. Definitely Delta Dental. For dental and vision insurance made simple, choose Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision today.
Want to save energy and money? With an energy-efficient home, you will use less and save more. We Energies has simple tips to help you reduce energy costs, like unplug fully charged cell phones to avoid wasted energy, or clear furniture or rugs away from vents to improve airflow. Get a free online home energy assessment and learn more energy-saving tips at WeEnergies.com. We Energies. Simple, smart savings.
More of Truth Be Told with DT&Telly is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT&Telly, coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio inside the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for starting your month and your week off here with DT&Telly. It is Monday, October 2nd. It's the first of the month. A lot going on. Before break, we were talking about Tupac. Tupac Shakur has the investigation of his murder, Tupac Shakur, in 1996 has been open for, that would be what, almost 30 years now. And anytime you watch a documentary about the investigation regarding the murder of Tupac Shakur, this name always came up or comes up. And this person now has finally been arrested and charged with the murder of Tupac Shakur as of Friday in Las Vegas. So the Las Vegas Police Department arrested or had a press conference, a news conference regarding the indictment in the 1996 murder of rapper Tupac Shakur. And again, this was just last Friday, September 29th. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, again, whose name I've always heard. There's even audio of Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D. There's audio and recordings of him admitting that he was involved in the shooting that took place again in 1996 in Las Vegas, killing rapper, I didn't want to say rapper, killing pop icon, hip hop poet, actor, everything, Tupac Shakur. More to come. But what's interesting, dear Telly, is that, of course, our sister Jada Pinkett Smith, as soon as the as soon as the news conference took place about her former boo, Tupac, on her Instagram and Twitter, she posted the following, quote, "Now I hope we can get some answers and have some closure. R.I.P. Pac," and put an emoji of a dove flying. Now,
I don't even.
Again.
Oh God.
I'm curious because she just posted a couple of weeks ago a video of her and Tupac dancing inside of a mall. Remember back in the day, you could go to the mall and do like a lip sync. You would play the video and you'd do karaoke and you'd have it like recorded and they give you a videotape. And now, so she posted one of those that was taken. I want to say it was like 92, 93. No, it was earlier than that. It was like probably 88, 89.
It had to be earlier. Yeah. Look,
poor Will.
Poor Will.
He didn't went on stage and slapped somebody and had all this controversy, and she's still over here sweating and salivating over Tupac, who's dead, and she got a whole breathing alive husband who literally took a big L for you. And you are still out here talking about finally we can get some peace. Who's we? I'm just curious, Jada.
And what's so crazy about just even going back to the slap? If somebody asked, Jada about it, she'd probably be like, "I ain't tell him to do that. He did that on his own."
I guess my question is, in Truth Nation, I'm gonna first ask Telly, but this is for all y'all. I want to understand. And the Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. It is obvious that Will Smith unconditionally loves his wife. She also just released a memoir. And there's a interesting video that she posted of her opening the books. And you can see Will Smith in the background. Just watch it when you get a chance. But my question is, Truth Nation, I'm going to start with Telly. And I know that this marriage is different. It's not like, traditional marriages. But is Jada out of order with all of this constant love, public displays of love and affection for Tupac, who, by the way, again, is no longer with us, while you got a whole husband? Is that healthy? I mean, would you be okay if your spouse or significant other or partner just constantly acknowledged their former lover, especially when they're no longer with us? Like, how would y'all feel? Telly, we're going to start with you. Because, I mean, for me, it's a little toxic. It's a little unhealthy.
I as my co-host, I wanted to respect you asking the question and letting you get it out, because I was going to ask and answer the question for you. I was going to ask the question of, are you over Jada? And the answer is yes. The amount of disrespect, I truly believe she has a Tupac folder, a bin of like pictures and letters and clippings. I mean, come on. Just case in point, that video had to be from the late 80s or early 90s. And who else outside of her has this video? So you just all of a sudden thought it'd be a good time, or you were missing him that much? I think I was over Jada right after Will slapped Chris Rock, because her response to him allegedly defending her honor on a joke that he didn't feel was funny and was disrespectful towards his wife. And after the slap, you never said anything about, man, that was my husband, I appreciate him defending my honor, or this, that, and the other. You were just kind of like, well, that was something he did. And you kind of kept it moving. And it is so bad. It is so bad. And I just think that
the reason why I have a problem with that, with her statement, is because when Chris Rock made the statement, and we're definitely not going to go down this rabbit hole, but I just have to remind us that when Chris Rock made the statement, Will Smith's initial reaction was laughter. And then when he looked over and saw Jada Pinkett was offended, like obviously offended, then it made him snap, which is what a good man would do for his wife. Now, when Jada says, oh, well, I didn't ask him to do that, but you did. Because if he wouldn't have reacted, then that would have been a whole nother argument, long drive home. Yes. You did, Jada, and I need you to own that.
And I look at it as, again, if it was the shoe was on the other foot, and if Will constantly talked about his ex-wife, man, she was the one who got away. Man, I was just too young at the time. Boy, maybe she really was my soulmate. If he's saying all this stuff and he's married to Jada, I think that would be a huge problem. A huge problem. Now, I know that's a different dynamic because Tupac is no longer with us, but this woman clearly is still in love with someone that is not her husband.
Because my question is this: what was the value that you gained from making that post? It definitely didn't help Will Smith. And it definitely, like everybody, Jada, trust me, everybody knows that you are still in love with a dead man.
Exactly.
And you still have so for my thing is, who are her PR people? Like, why do you need to post this? What value is it going to bring? What new information? How is this going to inspire anyone? And again, it's like it's kind of like she wants this negative attention.
Yes.
I know, again, she just released her memoir.
Yeah.
And then play victim. She just released her memoir. So I don't know. My thing is, for me, whatever the rules of engagement are in you and your person's relationship, those are your rules. It's for no one else to be involved. But you're making this public, and it from a PR standpoint, you release a memoir. To me, you're kind of incriminating yourself. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back.
She don't care.
And we want to hear your thoughts. She doesn't. We want to hear your thoughts about Jada's recent response to the arrest of Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D, for the murder of Tupac Shakur in 1996. She has publicly let the world know again that now we can finally have closure. All right. Let me know your thoughts. The Truth Talking text line is 833-212-1017. You are listening to the best morning show on planet Earth, Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth.
Truth Be Told with DT&Telly returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hi, John McGivern here. Did you know Network Health has Medicare Advantage plans that give you $25 a month back towards your Medicare Part B premium? That's $300 a year back in your pocket. Isn't that great? Call 833-7-NETWORK to learn more today. Network Health Medicare Advantage plans include PPO plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Network Health Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal. Certain restrictions apply to the Part B giveback. Visit networkhealth.com/Medicare/extra benefits for details.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The next disaster is coming. The time to get ready is now. Make a plan. Identify meetup locations and people you'll need to contact. Put your contact list in your wallet, on your phone, and somewhere visible in your home. Build a kit. Store enough food and water for 3 days. Don't forget your pets. And consider buying a pre-made kit. Keep at least 7 days of medication on hand. Work with your pharmacist and insurance company to secure the extra doses. Make copies of important documents. Keep them on your phone, in the cloud, or on a USB stick. Stay informed. Learn about local hazards. Take courses in CPR and first aid. And sign up for local alert systems. An early warning can give you the time you need to prepare for a fast-moving disaster. Be ready. Learn more at americares.org/send-us-in.
We didn't know what to expect. We were just left in a hotel.
My mom was doing drugs in the house.
Tay and Brianna spent years of their childhood in homes that weren't safe. They were placed in foster care and longed for a permanent, loving home.
I didn't know what my future was.
I wouldn't speak to anyone. I was afraid of everything.
With help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Brianna and Tay were adopted and now feel excited about their futures.
I'm studying to be a chef, and I really want to travel the world.
I'm going to be a mechanic, and I can focus on my career.
Right now, in the United States, there are more than 100,000 children in foster care, just like Brianna and Tay, who need a family now. Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Southbound on 43, going to be a slow ride coming in from Silver Spring all the way down to about Locust, the northbound side. Heavy from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. We've got delays through the Mitchell Interchange. Our earlier closure on the ramp to 894 westbound has been cleared, but we do still have backups through that area. On 94 northbound to westbound, you're going to be slow all the way to about 60th Street. On northbound straight through, you're going to be slow around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, sunny, very warm, a high of 85. Tonight, mainly clear, a little muggy with a low of 63. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 101.7 The Truth.
More of Truth Be Told with DT&Telly is next on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on the award-winning 101.7 FM The Truth. You can always stream us live by going to YouTube or Twitter and just search for 101.7 FM or 101.7 FM The Truth. You can see us live now. I'm looking like $2.25. So if you want to see me looking real regular, Telly, he's here too. So stream us live and also download the Truth app, because anytime you download the Truth app, that means you have access to the only station in the country that's going to give you 11 live consecutive hours of Black Talk Radio. Before break, we were talking about the recent arrest. Las Vegas Police Department announced during a news conference on Friday, September 29th, that Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe D, was arrested for the murder of Tupac Shakur in Las Vegas in 1996. We've got lots of comments coming in on the Truth Talking text line, which is 833-212-1017, regarding the reaction from Jada Pinkett Smith. So before we get into the text, let's take a call from Al. Good morning, Al. You are live with DT&Telly on Truth Be Told. What is your question or comment?
Well, my comment with Jada Pinkett, I wouldn't really put too much thought into it. She's just saying, she still has some type of love for him, but I wouldn't take it as being toxic or, because she's married, she shouldn't say nothing about another man, because keep in mind, this man is dead. He's dead. He's not going to come back from the grave, scratch her back, and crack her taco. So she's just showing that she has some type of love. So I wouldn't put that much thought into it, because it was somebody else already cracking that taco just as well as Will was cracking the taco, and there was no uproar about it. So I think everything should be fine.
Well, good morning, Al, to you. Thank you for your comment.
Al,
well, here's the thing.
I agree with Al quite a bit, but I'm going to have to disagree with this one. Because it doesn't matter if the man is dead or alive. It is the respect aspect. I think that I don't care what is going on. Do you want your wife always professing publicly her love about someone she used to be with? That's the point. If that's how you feel, keep that to yourself. Why do you have to post that? Like you said, what's the benefit?
I think if this had been the first time that Jada publicly, through a social media platform, acknowledged that, hey, this we're going to finally get some closure. Matter of fact, she just posted a video of her and Tupac like 2 weeks ago. It's kind of like as if she's removed from reality and how she's treating Tupac like he's still like this, and maybe he is for her a spiritual, existence. But yeah, Al, I think for me, what she posted wasn't unhealthy. It's the frequency. And she just does it all the time. And I'm like, for me, if I were Will Smith, I'd be like, we get it. Like, because again, the question is, what value did that bring? Everybody knows that she loves Tupac. Everybody knows that. So, on the Truth Talking text line, let's see. Moore says Keefe D was a regular on Via DTV, discussing that situation over and over again in different ways.
Vlad TV.
Okay, Vlad TV. Yeah, no, Aaron Moore, I'm with you because, again, his name just kept coming up. Someone says it's a red flag when your significant other is not over an ex, dead or alive. I was a placeholder for 7 years. My ex ended up reuniting with that same woman he divorced 20-something years ago. His heart was someplace else. He was not vested in what we were building. That's a great point. Thank you for your transparency and sharing that as well, because I was always told it ain't where the man is at, is where his heart belongs. Mm-hmm. I've always been told that by wise women. It ain't where that brother's at. I almost said a bad word. It ain't where that brother's at. It's where his heart belongs. Wayne says, I'm with Telly on this. Jada treats Tupac like he's in jail versus in the grave. That is a huge difference. Opie says that we're living in the era, we're living in an era where women can do anything without question, because it's going to be issues of being controlled or told what to do. But when a man does exactly the same thing, it's giving patriarchy. Aaron Moore, you said, don't forget my other text. What is that? If I was Will, I would ask her if she wants, if I was Will, I would ask if she wants to go be with him. And if so, then I'd tell her to do what she has to do then by any means. Yeah. The caller says, facts, Al. Will is the fool who keeps getting his head bumped.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
now, one of the other listeners had shared that which I had to give them a side coaching. I don't do well with microaggressions. We weren't leaving anything out. We just didn't get to that point yet. There's a lot of names that are associated with this investigation, including, yes, Sean Puffy Combs. Now, because he hasn't been arrested and because there's been a lot of alleged, I can't really even, like that, this is facts. So the fact is that Keefe D has been indicted and arrested for the murder of Tupac, not Sean Puffy Love Combs.
Yes, and
Period.
On top of that, if Puffy has something to do with it, I'm sure it'll come out now. They've made arrests. I mean, they're not just going to arrest him and say, all right, you're in jail. I'm sure they're going to question him. They're going to try to get more information. And if you are wondering some of those things, eventually it'll come out. As it took 27 years for this arrest to happen, I'm sure whatever else is going to come out, it'll come out, if it's going to come out now or later, but it's going to come out.
Mm-hmm. And as far as I'm concerned, since this is truth be told, when your income bracket is a certain level, there's ways that you can avoid serving time for murder. We've seen that several times in this country. I'm just going to leave that at that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, if you hit a certain income tax bracket, it has been proven in this country that you can, yes, indeed, get away with murder. And I'm going to leave it at that. In other news, let's get back to Milwaukee. So this weekend, this Saturday to be exact, around 2 o'clock at the Fiserv Forum, Deer District, we welcome Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks. He was here, and it looked like he had his, I think, is his two sons he was bringing with him? He brought with him?
Yes.
Based on what I saw on the footage? Okay. Cute little, they're so adorable, his sons. Look, different people have different personalities and, different ways of engaging with the public. I just didn't get a vibe of him like being like truly excited to be here. And I'm not comparing him to, Giannis or any other major franchise player. I'm just basing this on the fact that when he got out the truck and you see a sea of people that are excited and have made time to welcome you, he was just kind of like, I don't know. I just was like,
you
can you
thought
just
he
give us
should
a
have been
little
more.
brouhaha?
You thought he should have been a little more Bobby Portis?
Yes. Well, and because, there's been some previous comments that Damian has made about being traded to Milwaukee. There was a tweet where someone had, said, would you go to Milwaukee Bucks? And he said no. And there was an interview where, he was talking about going to, Oklahoma City or Milwaukee. I mean, and I get it. And it's just like Damon Dash, when he came to Milwaukee. Shout out to Khalif Rainey for hosting Hip Hop Milwaukee Week. Damon Dash, when he was in the car in Milwaukee, he was like, I've always thought Milwaukee was whack. And I'm paraphrasing. He was like, I got to start going to all the cities that are described as whack because Milwaukee is a vibe. So to me, a lot of people have, from the outside looking in, they have this perception of Milwaukee, do black people live in Milwaukee, or it's very segregated, it's too cold. However, what I can tell you as a transplant who's lived in Milwaukee for 20 years, give it a chance. Because Milwaukee is it's a great city. And I was going to say good at first because, there's no perfect city. But Damian, and this is me, this is not Telly, this is not the truth, this is me telling you, brother, I just need you to be a little bit more excited because you kind of dissed Milwaukee. And again, I get it because you didn't know. Now that you're here, though, let's just, because I felt like even when he was taking pictures with fans, that's one thing I love about Giannis. And again, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying, Giannis, even if he's having a bad day, he understands that fans, they're loyal and they just need to feel every now and again that connection. Does it mean that they have permission to touch you or invade your privacy? No. But all I'm saying is that for the Milwaukeeans to show up and be as excited as they were to welcome Damian Lillard after, and I'll say losing Drew Holiday, smile a little bit more, brother. Like, look like you.
Well, I got two things about that. First off, with the Dame situation coming to Milwaukee, I think we may have to give him a little grace, DT. And I say that because he is coming from somewhere he's been 11 years. He's had a relationship with these fans in Portland and that fan base. He was beloved out there. He's not a guy that's been traded around. So this is his first trade, his first ever trade after playing in the NBA for 11 years. So people react differently, and he may still be getting over the fact that he's not going to be in Portland anymore. But I get it from a Bucks fan standpoint. You want to see him as excited as you are for him to be here. I get that point. But I also think that you may have to give him a little time because this all just happened within a 3-day span. He was in Portland. He thought that he was going to Miami, and then, bam, one morning he gets a call, you're going to Milwaukee. It's not all of a sudden that, you don't know if he was.
A lot of the listeners are co-signing with you, Telly. They're saying that Dame is low-key. That's his personality in interviews and et cetera. He's not a hypester. You can't force no one to be what they don't feel. Facts. Yeah. Totally agree with you. Somebody says – go ahead.
No, I was just going to say to these, it's like you, you're planning to move to London, right? And the whole, your organization.
Hypothetically, y'all.
Hypothetically. No, I'm saying hypothetically, you want to move to London, and you've already talked to your organization, and your organization's like, all right, we're going to try to get you a transfer over to London, and you could be happy, and this, that, and the other. And then they call you 3 days ago, and they're like, it looks like it's going to be South America. And you're like, wait a minute, I was already kind of planning London, and now I'm going to. So I think it just takes a little time. But the one thing about this, like you said, losing Drew, the one thing that the Bucks did not want to see happen, I don't know if you heard about this, but Portland has traded Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics.
I didn't know that. That's breaking news. When did this happen? Over the weekend?
Yes. Yes,
so
it
Drew's
happened
he's going to
either
Boston.
yesterday or Saturday. So now, not only do the Bucks lose Drew Holiday, but they lose him to a team that's in their conference, in the Eastern Conference.
Welcome to the NBA. Now, on the Truth Talking text line, which is going bananas, the caller says, Dame probably had jet lag, Denise. You'll see energy when he hits the floor with Giannis. Appreciate you letting me know that. Grant says, I don't know, DT. I've seen Damian Lillard hit some game-winning shots from beyond half court. I've never seen him excited. That's his makeup. Thank y'all for educating me because, again, I've known of him playing for Portland, to your point, Telly, for so many years. So I'm just – because, again, I was just like – it didn't seem like he was that – excited. So I'm glad that y'all are educating me on that's just his personality. That's how he is. Someone says, I agree with Telly, give the man some slack. See, there y'all go with these microaggressions. Shut up. I wasn't coming for him. I was making an observation. See, everybody else was healthy.
I don't think they're coming for you, Denise. They're not coming for you. They just agree with what I said.
Telly, I'm saying give the man some layback. I wasn't coming for him. I was like, hey, it seems like he wasn't. And then, thank you. That's why I said Telly. Who am I? What is my title? You will never win. You will never win. Now, that's like me trying to go up against LeBron James. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to beat him when it comes to sports. When it comes to communication, I got this. So, yeah, like I wasn't coming for Damian. I was saying that I felt like he could have demonstrated some more excitement. And then the other listeners were clarifying that that's how he is all the time. Thank you for that healthy feedback. The other person, anybody come to see you, Otis. All right. You are listening to Truth Be Told with DT and Telly. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, wrap this up with our truth of the matter. And we hope you are having a great start to the new month and the new week. We will be back.
More of Truth Be Told with DT and Telly is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Friday Night Lights now officially lives here. 1017 The Truth is the proud new home of Marquette University High School football. Be sure to tune in to Marquette Hilltoppers football every Friday night at 7 p.m. as we bring you some of the best gridiron action in the area. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Capital Insurance Agency, Magic Productions, Annex Wealth Management, C.G. Schmidt, Leff's Lucky Town, Liberty Engineering, and Marquette University High School.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org. That's 800-506-5596 or visit www.kwwf.org.
Looking to buy your first house, expand it to a forever home, or simply want to refinance? At Associated Bank, we've got you. We believe that with the right lending plan and guidance, everyone can achieve their dreams. And Associated Bank is here to get you there. Because believe it or not, your financial goals are within reach. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Join Milwaukee Academy of Science at its 8th annual Night with the Novas Gala on Friday, October 20th from 5 to 9 p.m. at Discovery World. Enjoy the silent and live auctions, amazing food, and prizes. This is another event of the fall season. Are you interested in attending this remarkable event? Well, visit their website at MilwaukeeAcademyOfScience.org or contact Uniqua Adams at uadams@mascience.org for tickets. Milwaukee Academy of Science is a Milwaukee charter school that strives for equity, learning, and excellence in STEM education.
It is Truth Be Told with DT&Telly on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Y'all know what it is, Truth Nation. This is Truth Be Told with DT&Telly. Your boy Benjamin. And this is Truth of the Matter.
You heard Benjamin. It is that time before we wrap up and head over to our brother Sherwin Hughes. It is Truth of the Matter. My truth of the matter is this. Milwaukee, I think we are going to have a great basketball season. That's my truth of the matter. I really am just considering the dynamics and the makeup of what we got going on. We're going to miss Drew, that's for sure. And again, I didn't know he's going to Boston, so thanks for breaking that news. But yeah, I'm excited. My truth of the matter is I'm excited about the future of the Milwaukee Bucks. So go Bucks. I'm definitely going to be going to some games again this season. But them Bears, they can kick rocks. Did you see that? Did you see that big loss? They had a 21-point. Anyway, go ahead. I'm not even gonna get started. I can't even talk.
Well, my truth of the matter, I know
Bears are terrible.
we typically give our takeaway from a topic that we covered throughout the show, but just like yourself, I'm gonna go another direction. I'm so sick of seeing Taylor Swift and when they play Kansas City Chiefs games. I mean, so what? She's at the game. Ooh. And if it's about her new boyfriend, Taylor Swift get boyfriends every other month. Like, why after every play you hear the Mike Tirico and Taylor Swift enjoyed that play? So what? So what? All right, Ben, I'm off it.
I love it.
It bothered me so much. I'm like, how many cutaways of Taylor Swift I'm going to see during this football game?
Well, I'm gonna add fuel to your fire. There was this one lady, and she said that if it weren't for Taylor Swift, no one would have heard of the Kansas City Chiefs. And when I tell you they came for her on the internet.
The defending Super Bowl champions. Okay.
I know. It's okay.
Ben, what you got, man?
You know what? I'm going to give my take really, really, really quick. Shout out to Beyonce for inflating the economy. We definitely needed you. You and the Beehive. Shout out to the LA police doing their job. Finally finding the gentleman who killed Tupac.
The Vegas police.
Yeah, the Vegas police. So, yeah, that's my truth of the matter.
All right.
There you have it. Y'all, thanks so much for tuning in and starting your new month and new week. We really, really, really wish you a happy, happy Monday. Go make it a great day. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Sherwin Hughes. We love you. Make it a great day.
Peace out.
No young person should ever have to worry about having a safe place to